to the Feet Podcast Show. I'm your host, Jennifer Etter, and I'm here with
Susan Mobley. Thank you for joining us.
And this show is dedicated to helping other women find their rightful seat at the table through beauty, business, nutrition, and also self-help. So today, I am so excited to bring to the table our very own Leila Salmons. I absolutely love her.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Love you, ladies. I've already had so much fun being here this morning.
I think that we need like a behind the scenes before these shows, because it's definitely fun what we're doing before we even start.
Yes, I did a live earlier today on my page because it's actually kind of funny. When you do this kind of work, you really only see us from the waist up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super fancy from the waist up. And
that's my kids always know when I'm getting ready to do a Zoom or something, if I'm walking around dressed up front and like pajama pants on the bottom.
So that's the fun part about being able to do this. But Leila looks amazing as always, and she doesn't even have to do anything to get all fixed up. I just absolutely love it. So Leila, can you tell us, so you're a speech pathologist. I just want you to tell our audience a little bit more about the work that you do.
Okay, so I'm a speech language pathologist. I have two private practices, one in Bel Air, Texas, one in Spring Branch, Texas. In Bel Air, Texas, we started that practice 17 years ago, and we just work predominantly with children ages 2 to 12. In Spring Branch, we are a part of a nonprofit. It's a different setup over there where we work together as a team with different partners and provide resources for the community. Shout out to Ricardo Barnes, who's the executive director over there, who does and gives so much of his time for all of those families.
Fantastic.
Yes, I've learned so much at both locations from the people that I work with. We've got a great team of speech pathologists in Bel Air. We have Tracy, we have Laura, we have Abigail, we have Cherokee, we have, let's see, who do we have over there? Danielle. So you can call and ask for any of our therapists, and we'd be happy to help you with your children. My admin staff is just remarkable. Veronica, who answers phones, and Blair, who's joining us this summer as an extern. She's in graduate school. She's working on her speech pathology degree.
And so how long have you been doing speech pathology, and kind of tell us like what brought you to do this type of career path?
So my aunt Cleo is a speech pathologist, and I grew up in the Valley, South Texas. I'm a South Texas girl. She is the one who introduced me to the field, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah, and she's great because actually Leila has worked with one of my girls. So in the beginning, I would love to tell this story about my youngest daughter. She had her own language up until age 3, and we just learned her language. I didn't think anything of it. I figured we're communicating, and she was fine, And then Leila said, no, this is not okay. She's 3. She needs to learn how to speak properly. So Leila actually worked with my youngest, and she did an amazing job. In just a couple of sessions, we were able to take home some things to work at home and to really start helping little Miss Clara.
And I think that's the biggest thing I think we're all committed at our office. We're really committed to training the parents, and from the very beginning saying, hey, what can you do at home? What does your life look like? How can we implement what we're doing here in therapy at home so that we get practice every day and it's easy?
And that's important, because I think if you can't easily do something, I know even if it's with exercise or diet or anything, that if you can't incorporate it easily into your lifestyle, it's not going to get done. You might be gung-ho in the beginning, but then you're going to, stop doing it, and that's not going to help the kids out. Now, you have children of your own, right?
I do. I have 3 girls.
And what are their ages? That's always a fun question for you to be asked, right?
Yes, it is. So Alexine is 14 years old. She's my teenager, and I have 2 21-month-old twins.
So let's talk about that one, because
I'm sure people are doing the math right now.
Right. Let's talk about that one. So let's go back to your life, right? I know that there was not a great chance for you guys to have more, right?
Right.
I mean, what was the percentage?
I mean, it was 0. The doctors had already said no more.
Yeah.
We'd spent so much money on in vitro. very, just not successful. And we had checked that box and said, okay, we did all we can, and it's just not in the cards for us.
Right. And so then what were you doing? You were at a time in your life where you were going to try something new just for you. You're going to start working on yourself a little bit deeper. Not that you hadn't already been working on yourself, but tell the audience what you were in the middle of doing.
Well, I was going to say that. Well, my husband and I were having a lot of fun during that time. But we also, I picked up the book, A Course in Miracles. And I've been working every day and really committed. And I'm just, I'm really committed to miracles, and we're going to have miracles. Everybody's going to have miracles, right? So that's where I guess my little miracles came from.
Yes. And so she was able to actually manifest 2 miracles when she was told that there was nothing. The well was dry. It's not happening. I know that probably sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But that's just, she wasn't in her 20s, ladies. So this is one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about, is that so often we think that, okay, we've had our kids, we've gone to school, we've started our career, our kids are now older, and that's it, right? Now what? We're just going to cruise into retirement. And really some amazing things have really started happening later for you, that things you didn't expect, having new twins,
your miracles,
right? Having your miracles that came about, and there's some other things that have come up too, that it's almost like it's a new beginning. It's a whole new beginning. And so I know you were saying too that your life does not look like it used to. And I know there are so many other women out there that are probably in the same boat, where we talk to these 20-year-olds and we're looking at them and we think we are 20. So,
yes,
but we're not.
We were just talking about that earlier.
But what we're looking at ourselves in the mirror, and we're really contemplating our lives, and it just doesn't look the same as it used to. So you said something really profound that I would love for you to share about
some words of wisdom from your mom. And
my mom, yes, my mother, who love her, and grateful for the conversations I have with her. And recently I was in a conversation with her about just where I am and everything I'm feeling, right? And it's different, and just working through things. I'm constantly working through things daily. I'm treading new water, and I'm not sure, I'm making mistakes. Or actually, I read somewhere they're not mistakes. They're, what are they? Lessons. They're life lessons.
Absolutely.
So I'm having lots of really, really big lessons right now. So my mom was sharing with me, she shared on the phone with me, she goes, Leila, you're just in your valley. And I said, valley?
I know you didn't love it.
No, I did not. And in my head, because then she went on to say, sometimes we're climbing the mountain, and sometimes we're in our valley. And I thought immediately, I do not want to be in a valley. I climb mountains. And I want to climb a mountain. Right. And so it took me a few moments to say to myself, okay, so this is what it looks like to be in the valley. And then she shared, when you're in your valley, and she read a book. So the name of the book is...
It was something...
The
Two-Sided Mountain.
Yes, by Brooks. The Two-Sided Mountain is what she shared with me. I have not read the book, which I would like to.
We're probably going to all be ordering it after this show.
Ordering the book and reading
We'll have to start a book club for the Two-Sided Mountain and see what we all get from it.
So she said, and thank you, Mom. Thank you for that conversation. It really has helped. She said, it's a time for you to do the things that bring you joy. And when you're in your valley, you question yourself, you question your happiness, what you're doing, and why your life looks different. And when you finally accept it, for me, what I see is that accepting that I'm in my valley, I'm able to do the things that bring me joy, and then there's peace.
Right.
Yeah, instead of fighting against it.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely cathartic to just be like, that's okay. I'm in my valley, but that's not a bad place to be.
Right. This is a cycle.
And that's why I've been so tired.
Right. Let's talk about that, because resistance. I actually was having some really nice conversations with my mom this past weekend, because she got to come and stay. And this was us doing our Mother's Day while my husband was hunting. And so this was our time to we love to have slumber parties. And so we really had some nice conversations. It was very similar, and it was about resistance. And when you're resisting so much, and it does wear you out, but when you start to just really accept that this is all me and this is all mine and everything, then things seem to open up for you. Once you relax and accept, like the world opens up, your path opens up. And so it's
definitely fighting against it makes it harder, I think, to find that happier spot. And I think that once you do, then you definitely start to open up more things and understand why you are where you're at, instead of fighting where you are where you're at. You know, like you said, we don't all think that our life, you know, we have this plan of how our life is going to be in our minds. And when it doesn't quite go that way, it can be kind of jarring. So I think it's, you know, your mom had some good wise words for you and for us. And a great new read.
Yes, and also for our audience, because we know that there's so many.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, we'd love to give a little kudos to those that are watching. So we've got Susie Nelson. Oh, such an amazing story, Leila. You rock.
Oh, I love you ladies.
Don't know how you do it all, she says. And then let's see, we
Terry.
love. Yeah, Terry says we love Leila Salmons.
Yes,
love you girls.
And then there's Joe, my fiance, supporting.
Same cheers, lady.
Gotta have the support system, right?
So I'm going to go ahead and move into one of my favorite subjects. And this is something that is, you know, I ask every one of our guests because I think it's so important to know, what is your why?
Right. So my why. And can you define that? Like the why is?
So the why is something that is literally what's driving you. It's the reason for the things that you do. It's what keeps you going when you're tired and you don't want to do something. What is it that comes up, that bubbles up for you?
Yeah, I say it's something in your gut. You know, it's that feeling, that passion that you get. You know, you might get teary-eyed when you think about it, and there's definite emotion behind it, and that just gut feeling of what gets you up every day to keep doing what you're doing, even on those days when you don't really want to.
Right. So my why has changed, and that's part of what I've been going through.
Right.
And I've been trying to have the same why, and it wasn't working for me anymore.
Right.
It was draining me. My why used to be dreams fulfilled.
Right.
And I was climbing that mountain. And my 14-year-old, when she was born, I just put her in that backpack and we climbed that mountain together. You know, Alexine's amazing. She really is. And does not work anymore. I cannot climb a mountain with three. Right. And so what I see is that my why is motherhood. And that when I can be a mom, when I can be a mother first, then I have the energy, I have the joy to go be amazing at work and go just share myself, be able to be there for the families who I love and care for, be able to be there for the therapists who are in my office, who are thriving, who inspire me, and for my administration team who inspires me. But I have to be a mom first. And I put the girls in school in February because I thought, we're going to put them in school. I'm going back to work. I'm going to work my long hour days that I'm used to doing. And it just did not work for us. You know, they were sick. I was missing too much work. And then I was beating myself up. And so I decided we have to do something different. And I didn't know what that was going to be, but I knew it was starting with, I'm going to get them out of school and I'm going to spend the morning with them.
Right.
And so once I did that, I saw that me spending the first half of the day with them, I was feeding my soul. I was rejuvenating myself. And I was able to go to work and be amazing again and be happy and be fulfilled. And that was like, what? But this is so weird. Who does this? And I was because you compare what other people are doing.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You know, and I'm like,
the comparison game gets you every time.
And it just wasn't working. I had to do what worked for our family.
Right.
And I think that's important to know, you know, what works for each family is not going to look the same. You know, your next door neighbor situation is different than yours, but you can't compare that one is better than the other. It's whatever's best for your family. And how lucky are your girls that you figured that out, especially, you know, at this stage of the game, because really you're giving them a gift of being a fulfilled mother, you know, instead of being drained every day and not being able to give them everything.
Right.
Big difference.
And that's why I love having different powerful women on this show, because each of our paths and our journeys are so different. We do have this underlying connection and commonality, but then really when it boils down to it is that there's no wrong path. And as I said before, like we're not taken away from a stay-at-home mom just because we have someone who is career driven. We are honoring and accepting everybody's path and everybody's level, and not even to compare yourself with who you are in your 20s when you're in that building, climbing the mountain phase, and that it's okay to now be in this valley with these miracles that you created, and to accept. And that's how Leila does it all. She has miracles in her life, and she has recognized that that's what they are. And all of the miracles, all of the children and the people and the helpers that are in her life, and that she allows herself to be fed by that. And I think we could all definitely take a page out of Leila's book there for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing of, of the comparison game. It's not worrying about that. It's being about the best version of yourself, figuring out what will make you be able to be the success you need to be for your career, your children, your family, and really acknowledging that. And that's a huge thing that you're able to do that. And I think with your why, that we all need to understand that the why isn't something that's stagnant. It's changing and it's evolving depending on what stage of life you're at. If you are climbing the mountain or in the valley, that it can change, in a heartbeat.
Right.
And it doesn't make your previous why wrong or anything like that. It just makes it that you're in a different, stage of life now, and that it's good to reevaluate our why. I know that Jennifer and I's whys have evolved immensely over the last even year, and it's important to look into yourself and figure that out. And I think that's huge that you did that.
So I have one more question, because it kind of came to me when you were talking about your why, and it's about legacy. I feel that you are starting to recognize a legacy that you want to leave behind for your daughters. And so that who you're being is important, because that they're going to learn by example. So I want to hear you articulate, what is the legacy that you'd like to leave behind for your daughters?
Legacy. It's a big word. It's a big word. Okay, so legacy. So what do I want to leave behind? One of the things that I've been thinking about recently is, so this is one of the things I want to leave behind, is that my daughter's up to big things right now. She's, she was out in LA last week and she was doing a live audition.
Can I get a shout out to her?
Yes, I love you, Alexine, and you're amazing and you inspire me. And just so y'all know, Alexine's the one, when everything is going crazy and falling apart at the house, she stops me, puts her hands on my shoulders and looks me in the eye, and she says, "Mom, breathe."
Aww.
So she is just I adore you, and I learned so much from you. So yeah, she's up to big things, and I'm really proud of her. And it takes a lot to go into a live audition and walk out, and there's so many of them, right? And just that no, she's getting a lot of no's. And and I heard George Clooney say this in an interview, and I took from it, and he said, don't believe all the good things people say about you, because then you'll also believe all the bad things they say about you.
I love that.
And I loved when he said that, and I said, I have to share that with Alexine. That's a great one. And then I took it a step further, and I said, okay, so what are you going to believe? And so it's all about, what do you believe about yourself? And I want my girls to know who they are, to believe in themselves, and then create, what is it that you know and believe about yourself, and know that. So really know that I'm enough, that I'm loved, that I'm safe. I think those three things.
And that they choose themselves.
Yeah, and they choose themselves, right?
I love that.
Yeah, that was something Jennifer and I kind of talked through recently, is it's not always about choosing others and everything about others. It's about choosing yourself also, and choosing everything about yourself.
Yeah, if you're not feeding yourself first, it's hard to give to everybody else around you.
Right.
You have to love yourself before you can give back to everyone else.
That's so true.
Now,
thank you.
So as we wind up today, we're so excited that you got to be on here, but we want to make sure that everyone can find you. Okay. So you said you have 2 clinics, and that you mainly have seen children, but y'all are interested in getting more adults in there as well, right? So
Exactly.
let's let all of our viewers see where are your locations and how can they contact you, and we will put the information in the comments,
Yes.
but just so that she can let you know.
So Therapy Connections, we are in Bel Air, Texas, and we're also in Spring Branch, Texas. May is Better Speech and Hearing Month.
Okay.
So we are, for the rest of the month of May, we're doing free speech screenings, free consultations. If you have any questions about your child's receptive language, expressive language, articulation, fluency, tongue thrust, okay? We're getting a lot of patients with tongue thrust. We'll get them in and out, and then they have their braces put on, and those teeth stay right where they're supposed to be. Adults who've suffered strokes, aphasia, please call us. We would love to talk through whatever questions or concerns you have and help with that.
How perfect is it that we had you in the month of
May,
right?
Mother's Day. My mom's sharing so much with me this month, and I love that. And then May is Better Speech and Hearing Month, so it was just all aligned.
Nothing is ever on accident.
I know,
Everything
right?
is always in divine timing and in divine order.
Yes,
For
we
sure.
appreciate you being here today, Leila.
Aw.
Yay, we have so much fun.
We love Leila.
And so if you want to find us, you can find Her Seat on Facebook on our official page, Find Her Seat. Make sure to get your notifications on there so when we go live, as well on Instagram at Find Her Seat, all one word. And then we are almost always on here live on Tuesday, but this week we actually have a surprise Friday show live from Savvy Chic Med Spa, and you are not going to want to miss this one.
You're definitely not going to want to miss it.
Might have some live action going on that everyone's going to be interested in watching. But yeah, so make sure to reach out to us, and always at findherseat.com. So y'all enjoy your rest of your week, and don't forget to get those notifications because you do not want to miss Friday.
Fantastic. Thank you.